They're programmed to be peaceful, like you. But for some reason, it's not catching.
Donald Trump.
What?
They suppress the lighting, the glycosylated salts, and then boop, boop, boop. Angry turtles. We don't like it.
There's the rub.
So, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to have the presence of mind to talk about all the things that I want to talk about in this video, but I hope I get to the most of it. So I started watching the videos about people coming to America, and they were blown away by the size of the fucking gas stations and the grocery stores and the food that you can get and stuff like that, and the air conditioning. You know what I mean? But like, I thought that was funny to just see people, you know, seeing America for the first time, traveling abroad here, and seeing what we have and where we live and how we live and that sort of thing. I thought it was very, very funny. And then I started watching more like compilation videos of like half-hour long, you know, people talking about everything that's going on right now. And I gotta tell you, I've had a chance to really think very deeply about how amazing of a tactician Donald Trump is. What genius of a strategy. Fucking unreal. Mind-blowing. Like, he's either so smart, or he has people working for him that are so smart, or he's just so lucky. Like, so unfucking fathomably lucky. Dude, I saw a video. I don't know if it's true or not. It could be fake, but I thought it was hysterical. I saw a video of a girl, black lady, because it makes a difference in this story. She was like crying. She was upset because she was seeing all these videos of all of these Europeans coming over here and experiencing America. And she's like, I'm like proud to be an American. And I'm like upset because I'm like proud to be in America. Because I'm like, yeah, it's America. But at the same time, I'm like, it's America. Like, either he's so genius or he's so fucking lucky. So, let's dial it back to a year ago or so. Donald Trump's fighting real hard to get the World Cup to America. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's soccer. That was my first thought. My second thought was, do you have any idea how expensive it is to put on the Olympics? It costs us so much fucking money to do the Olympics. And we build these stadiums and do all this shit. And then everything rots. And it just never gets used again. Or it kind of gets used. And then they just knock it down and build something else. Like, the amount of waste that the Olympics is unbelievable. But for so long, I loved the Olympics. I don't so much anymore. But I used to really love the Olympics, so it was worth it for me to have the Olympics because I thought it was cool to hear stories about people from different countries and to gain some worldliness without really having the means to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always loved that kind of stuff. I thought it was a thing that brought the world together, so maybe we wouldn't be such shitheads with each other. You know what I mean? Everybody loves sports. So I love the Olympics for that shit. And I never really cared about the World Cup because what is mostly what you hear about in the World Cup? When the top floor of a fucking stadium collapses because everybody's stomping around, or the guy that was thrown off the balcony because there was a fucking 200-person fight. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, soccer hooligans and all that kind of shit. And it's like, you know, they're like the more Old Testament version of like Pittsburgh and Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, they got rivalries they'll kill each other over. We're not always that bad. Sometimes we get that bad, but it's very rare. And it's usually not everybody in the stadium. So, like, you always hear about the most salacious stuff. And that's going to be the 200-person fight and all that kind of shit. And that's not always what happens, and it's not always that bad. You know that when you think about it rationally. But for the most part, it's kind of like, ugh. And I was like, at the time, I was like, look, if you want to do the World Cup, fine, whatever. But just don't be fucking stupid about it. Don't build something to do the World Cup in or do some shit like that. Like, use stadiums we've got. We got a lot of fucking stadiums around the country. And that's what they did. They're doing this shit at, like, at Nashville and, you know, all these different football stadiums because we're not using it. It's fucking off season. So they're all using it for the World Cup. And most Americans couldn't give a flying fuck about the World Cup. It happens. It's a thing we hear about on the radio every once in a while on our way into work. And then it passes us by and we go, who won? Did we win? Oh, we didn't win? Oh, we were out in the first round? Pfft, fucking figures. Right? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares about the World Cup or soccer or any of that shit. Except for those few people that do. There's always exceptions to every rule. There's always an other that we can all point and laugh at. You know, you like soccer? Cool. You know what I mean? Like, we've always got our outliers, and we've got a lot of outliers, so a lot of people in this country are happy that the World Cup's here. But imagine, if you will, football, NFL. Instead of doing all of the playoffs and the championship game in the United States, fuck me. Sorry. Instead of doing all of the, you know, preseason or postseason and the fucking championship, instead of doing that in America, we're only going to do like all the way up to the semifinals. We'll do the semifinals and the finals overseas. And if you want to come overseas and watch it, you're welcome to buy a ticket. You know what I mean? But then we're going to have all these Europeans that are going to come and hopefully enjoy football. Right? Because football in the United States is like soccer over there. And soccer in the United States is like football over there. We don't care about soccer. They don't care. We don't care about football. They don't care about football. We don't follow football. They don't follow football. You know what I mean? Like, nobody fucking cares about each other's kind of like main sport. But if you did that, and you sent, you'd have thousands of Americans saving up and going over to fucking Europe to go and watch the fucking championship, you know, the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Germany. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have all sorts of people going over there and seeing what their country's like. And they'd be like, oh, Germany's nice, you know. Look at all this. Look at this castle. Look at this fort. Look at this, all this shit. Look at all this historic. Look at all these ruins. Right? We'd all go over there and go, oh, look at all this old stuff. That's cool. Because we don't really have old stuff. The Native Americans, God bless them, they didn't really build shit. They built shit that you could pick up and move whenever the fuck you needed to or wanted to. Like, they were living in the Garden of Eden. They had no buildings, no monuments, no Colosseum. They didn't build shit here. They preserved all of this land so that we could modernize it. So that we could pave over the greater portion of it. And put giant buildings up and all these monuments and all these statues and all this shit. And we would make the modern version. You know, in 2,000 years, what we got going on here is either A, completely not going to be what we've got going on here. It's going to be absolutely and utterly different. Or We're going to preserve some of our ruins, some of our monuments. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. It would be insane to live for the next 2,000 years to see how much this world changes. But America, I think, is going to change the most. It's going to always be the most modern. We're not going to give a fuck about preserving too terribly much of anything other than like our national parks and shit. You know, like we'll want to keep the beautiful things beautiful, but for the most part, when a building gets old, we knock it down and we build another one on it. You know what I mean? Like we just build another fucking... Right? Coliseum is pretty fucking old. But we don't hear about them, you know, talking about demolishing it so that they can put up a fucking football stadium. Sorry. Soccer stadium. Right? They're not going to do that shit. They're going to keep that. Bear in mind, these people don't have much land to just kind of go, oh, we're just never going to touch that. You know what I mean? Like, we've got all this room that we can spread out. Interesting to think about, isn't it? Because when you really, really, really put it down to a phrase to describe the United States of America, the United States of America is a theme park. Like, we've got a shit ton of theme parks, right? They're all over the country. And if you live near a theme parks kind of lose their luster at a certain age. You know what I mean? If you live in Orlando, you probably go to Disneyland or Disney World, whatever the fuck it is. You go to Disney so much that you're like, Disney. But like, you come from fucking Idaho and you go to Disney and you're like, wow, this is crazy. Because it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. Every European that's coming over here is like the person from Idaho. So all we got is farms. They're coming over here like, whoa, this is wild. And it's shit that we have every day. Walmart is blowing their minds. Just the sheer scale and intensity of it all. They're going to not the shitty restaurant that you go to where the service sucks and the food's worse. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going there. They're going to tourist attractions for us. They're going to the 5-star Michelin restaurants and they're having their greatest meals. They're going to, you know, these really kick-ass, because they're going to places where these things are. They're going to the football stadium, and the football stadium brings a lot of fucking people, so a lot of fucking shit goes up around the football stadium. Like, there's always a Planet Hollywood or some sort of something around somewhere where there's a stadium. So that's where they're going. They're going to theme park America. They're not going to go walk down MLK. Hell no! You don't do that shit! No. You don't go above 110th Street. You take a cab if you got to go above 110th Street and you move fast. Like, no. They're not going there. They're going to Nashville, the House of Music, and barbecue, and all this fun stuff. They're going to Louisiana, getting the bubble gum. They're, you know what I mean? They're going to fucking Miami. They're going to... Genius. Because right now, people in America hate being in America so much. People overseas are seeing nothing but that. Just like all we see is when the fucking top level collapses onto the bottom level and kills hundreds of people. That's all we see of the World Cup. We don't see the normal everyday World Cup game where everything's great and everybody's having a good time. We think they all just fight with each other. But like, they're all coming over here to the theme park. And they're having a great time. Because they're on vacation. At the theme park. Right? What are we going to do tomorrow? Let's go to an IMAX. What the fuck is that? Apparently it's a place where the theater's so fucking big that most of it doesn't matter. Because you gotta go like this and you don't want to do that. Like, it's fucking insane. Let's go to the theme park. They're all having a great time. And Americans are having to struggle with, yeah, we really are the best. Because all the Europeans are saying, you guys are the fucking best. You know, we make fun of you for a lot of shit, and we shit on you a whole lot, but man, really, coming to the theme park is great. Everybody's so nice because they're paid to be. And, and we are just a nice society, and in the sunlight, in mostly red areas, you know, you can go out at night and feel safe, and you can even go out in the day and feel safe, because it's America. It's not that bad. Like I said, you don't go above 110. But downtown's pretty cool. Do you want to go to the theater? You want to see a play? Yeah, I live right here. And it made me think, you know, all these kids in America that fucking hate America, they've just gotten tired of the theme park. They're like, yeah, I've seen a fucking Walmart, man. I shop there every night. And Europeans are like, you get to shop here every night? This is crazy. We don't have fucking anything like this. We can't expend... Do you realize how many people would be displaced if in Great Britain they put up a fucking Walmart? They'd have to kick 20 families off their land to put up one Walmart. We've got hundreds of them. There's a Walmart. Oh, that's cool. There's another Walmart. We just went 5 blocks down the road. There's 2 Walmarts. Yeah, of course. We got Starbucks right next to the Starbucks. Like, and these people are seeing the theme park. They're not seeing the gritty dark side. They're basking in the AC because it's so fucking hot. I love that that's a thing. I love that we, through social media, again, is another thing that plays into this. And like I said, all of these little religions, all of these shitty faiths like the Democrats and the Democratic Socialists, y'all are never gonna fucking make it. Because you can only dupe motherfuckers for so long. Seriously, you can only dupe people for so long before they're gonna figure a way to make people learn. And Donald Trump made a bold move to bring the championship games of a sport that nobody fucking cares about to a country there most people aren't even going to realize it's happening for like the 2, 3, however many fucking weeks this shit's going to be going on for. I don't even know. It's been like, what, a week at least, right? I don't fucking know. Anyways, apparently we're into eliminations now, and I'm like, what? Okay. So now we're going to start knocking motherfuckers out, and people are going to go home again, and that's good. We'll talk about that in a minute, maybe. If I get around to the illegal immigration issues that might arise from the World Cup being here and all of people's enjoyment of the theme park. Whatever. Anyways, let's keep it fun. But yeah, and it's wild to me that, you know, they're doing this in football stadiums, like NFL football stadiums. Huge venues, massive. And nobody in America really cares. So it's not like America's going to fill even a quarter of the fucking seats. We got room. And everybody that enjoys football is coming to the U.S. to watch the footy. Like, we're getting everybody, like those countries, Germany, England, all the other countries, all of the countries that are represented in the World Cup have literally emptied out. So that everybody can come to the theme park and have a good time. And you got rival countries that are like partying with each other, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm so into the mood of America. I'm so into the vibe. Everybody's dressing up like Americans and showing off their fit. Everybody's going to the theme park. And Donald Trump knows that in our best times, which is more often than not sporting events, that's when you see the true heroism of our people. That's when you see, you know, people catching fucking foul balls before they clock some kid in the head and make him fucking have problems the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you see those moments. That's when you see the true heart of this country and what we've achieved. Like, yeah, over there they got a whole bunch of old stuff, and it's amazing because it's like, wow, you can really see how people in ancient times kind of existed. And it's like, yeah, well, you can't really see that over here. I mean, you can go to Yellowstone and roughly see how people in ancient times lived. You know what I mean? Like, you can go camping. But that's all it was. They didn't build big buildings or anything like that. They didn't have monuments and statues and fucking... No, we just had forests. And it's all about what we've made. Like, we don't live in the past. And I think that's something that Europeans got to learn, man. Like, you guys got to understand. We don't live in the past. We live in the present. It isn't what you had. It's what you got. And we have a country that we have literally built into being a nationwide theme park. Complete with its own little shady areas. Theme parks have certain spots where the problems go on. Like, look, I grew up like 2 hours away from Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, right? And it makes me laugh because in The Boys Season 1, the Deep got fucking sent to Sandusky to go and protect SeaWorld. That shit, I was fucking losing it because I'm like, ah, and he brought that girl home and she like fucked his gills. I'm like, yeah, it's a Sandusky chick. You know what I mean? Like, they're a little weird up there. They live a little too close to the theme park. Like, the rest of the world does not have the same adrenaline rush that live in 20 minutes from, you know, Cedar Point. That's a whole different level of fucking insanity that you earn for that. But I lived like 2 hours away from it. And I would go every year. It was like a thing with me and every friend group I ever had. We always wanted to go to the amusement park because it's fun to go to the amusement park. That's our whole country. We all live way too close to the amusement park because it's everywhere. I live in a reasonably decent, like, middling level, real close to a bigger city. And, you know, we've got wonders to see all over the place. Like, and we love our restaurants. And yeah, when you get, if you go to the big time places, you're gonna get the big time shit. And these companies are smart. You think In-N-Out has got the same normal crew that they have when the World Cup isn't in their fucking town? Hell no, they don't. They put their A players out for that shit because they're like, man, you're gonna have to deal with all sorts of crazy shit because we got all manner of different people coming. Some of them aren't gonna be able to speak English. Like, you're gonna be cool with this, and they need the crew that's like, I got you. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, that's the people that they've, unless they're utter fucking idiots. If they're all really as retarded as sometimes I think they are, they got the A players out for this shit. And so everybody's seeing the theme park. Ah, it makes me so happy. Like, it makes me so happy because maybe if enough people in this country are able to vicariously live the wonder in the eyes of other people, to be able to realize the United States of America is literally a fucking theme park. From sea to shining sea. There's always a place within a few hours that you can go and be in a theme park. Even if it's just down to the stadium to go and watch a professional team play. Like, there's always something somewhere strategically placed to where the whole country is one big, giant fucking theme park. That's what true freedom will do to you. When you say, I want to unleash the people. Because, yeah, there's a whole lot of retards. And those retards are going to tart it up bad, and we're going to have problems. But you know what? At the same time, I have faith that my people consist of some smart motherfuckers. That if we allow them to go out there and come up with ideas, and we figure out a way to make this shit happen, we can have amazing things. Truly remarkable, amazing things. And that's where we're at. Every time you go to that big giant fucking Walmart and you're walking down the aisles looking at everything like, yeah, whatever. Just understand that that's like bigger than most people's towns.